Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the Nomad TCG. I know it's been a little while since I've done a video, but I got one here for you today. I just mostly finished this deck, just waiting on a couple more cards. I got a deck profile for you guys. This is going to be my Faded One of Taboo, Zorga Nadir. This is my deck profile for post Destined Showdown. I say Destined Showdown, even though Omniscient Awakening has come out, because we didn't get any new Zorga support in Omniscient Awakening, but we did get a couple cards in Destined Showdown. So I used to be a Stoicheia hater, and then I played Magnolia, and then it all just went uphill from there. And Zorga is one of the most fun decks that I've ever played in my life. I played Dead Sea Spiritualist, Grave Zorga on Deer Days, and actually just kind of fell in love with the way the deck is played. So I decided to build a Faded One of Taboo, because Masanori is my favorite character, so ergo, favorite Faded One. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. For the ride line, we are going to be running the basic Zorga Nadir ride line with a Disastrous Slurper, Abyss Fishing, Split the Preordained, and Zorga Nadir. Obviously, this deck is going to be very order heavy because Alchemagic. Why would you play Zorga and not Alchemagic? So that's the ride line, kind of established. Nothing's changed. You could run Dream Nibbling in the ride line if you want, but I would just stick with the kind of the called for ride line. So starting with the main deck in the grade 3s, we're going to be running 3 more copies of Faded One of Taboo Zorga Nadir, because we want those Persona rides. We want that front row draw power. So that is that for the... Alright, then finishing off the grade 3s, we're going to be running 3 copies of Roaming Prison Dragon. I don't have my last copy yet, so I'm just running Sleeve Tugging Bell for that extra power boost. Roaming Prison Dragon is kind of a staple in Zorga nowadays, or I guess it has been. You can't run Zorga without Roaming Prison Dragon because of the Alchemagic skill gains 10,000 power and a critical whenever you Alchemagic, so that is very nice. That's it for the grade 3s. Not very grade 3 heavy, but moving on to the grade 2s, we're going to be running 3 copies of Abomination of Impending Karma. Same with Roaming Prison Dragon. I don't have the last copy. I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail. Ordered it from TCG Player. But these two paired together on a rearguard circle after you Alchemagic is just actually crazy with the amount of criticals that you can get and power as well. Finishing off the grade 2s, we are running 3 copies of Coffin Shooter. This is just the extra bind power, and just in case you can't get Roaming Prison or Impending Karma, you can use this to bind an order card from your drop zone and call this one to an open rearguard circle. It also pairs kind of well with Zorga's skill, where you can Energy Blast 2 and bind a normal order and call 2 cards from the drop zone. This way you could not use Zorga's skill with the energy and then use Coffin Shooter instead, and you can just Energy Blast 7 to draw a card if you don't have it already. Moving on to the grade 1s, we're going to be running 3 copies of Sea Scissors of Deep Hades. Its skill, once per turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Zorga in its card name, retire 2 rearguards, choose a normal order card from your drop, and put it into your hand. I've actually used this a lot. Whenever I can't Alchemagic, I retire 2 cards from my rearguard circle, and then pull out some. I don't have any order cards right here, actually. But it's very useful in terms of trying to rebuild your formation and Alchemagic whenever you don't have any more order cards in your hand. So that is kind of a very good card to have nowadays when you play Zorga Nadir. Then finishing off the grade 1s, we are going to be running 2 copies of Fairy of Condolence Chudalis. This just has the 10k support whenever you play Zorga. Actually, let's see. Yeah, actually, you could get like 15k boost on Zorga, so that's 25,000 plus the 13,000 that you get for Zorga on his base power, and then whatever triggers you draw. So boost that power even more. All right, and then we are also just going to be running 4 copies of Planar Prevent Dragon. We're not running Sanctitude just because we want actual other orders in the in our deck. So we're just running Planar Prevent Dragon just to have that basic effect, perfect guard. All right, and then for the order cards, we actually got quite a few order cards in here. So let's go ahead and get started with those. We're going to be running 2 copies of Clouded Miasma with its skill, Counterblast 1. You can call a grade 3 or less card from your drop. And if it's part of Alchemagic, you can use your Vanguard skill, and your entire front row gains an extra 5,000 power. So Zorga is very much so reliant on calling cards from the drop zone, obviously, and then also giving those cards massive power boosts. Next, we're going to be running 1 copy of Whales Melt in the Sound of Rain to for your opponent. Choose one of their rear guard and retire it, and then you choose one of your cards from the drop at the same grade as the retired unit and call it to rear guard circle. So formation rebuilding whenever nothing else is available. And we were running Clutch of Grudge Toxin, where when your opponent attacked, you can retire a rear guard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. And your Vanguard gains 10,000 power until the end of that battle. Or I guess until the end of turn. Then we were running Fill the Skies, O Brand of Corpses. Choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets all of your rear guards placed from the drop zone, gain 5,000 power. This is the order card that I'm going to be moving out whenever I get my copies of Shadow Cloak, Outburst of Righteousness. This card is really only useful during the turn where you use Zorga's Divine skill, where you counterblast 1 and choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire them. So it's not like super useful in Zorga, but I needed an extra order card, so that's the one I picked. Then we are going to be running 2 copies of Gather Upon Me, You Wandering Souls. Discard an order card from your hand, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets an extra drive until the end of turn. So triple drive is always useful because we want all the crits, all the triggers we can. And then we're going to be running 1 copy of Nectar of Sensationalism, and then choose one of your rear guards, and it gains attack, or 5,000 attack for every 5 cards in your drop, and if your card has 15 or more cards, it gets an extra critical. So you could use this on either Roaming Prison Dragon or Abomination of Impending Karma, and then just like absolutely have a flat out overpowered rear guard with a bunch of power. And then we're going to be running 1 copy of In the Dim Darkness, The Frozen Resentment. You play it with Soul Blast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose a card from among them and discard it and shuffle the deck. Choose a card from your drop zone with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard and call it to an open rear guard circle. So this can help with Alchemagic, so you can have an order in your card to bind whenever you place Zorga and get that energy blast. Then we're going to be running 1 copy of Sweets That Become an Evil Dream. Counterblast 1, draw a card, and then look at the top card of your deck, put it on the top of your deck, or discard it. So this could either help with drive checks, making sure that you have a critical on your drive check, or this could help with Alchemagic, or even just if you get rid of a copy of Roaming Prison or Impending Karma, just to have those in the drop zone and call them whenever you need them. And we're going to be running 1 copy of Spiritual Body Condensation, Soul Blast 1, and then just call a card equal to or less than your Vanguard from the drop zone. Then we are also going to be running 1 copy of Rousing Rasp. Just counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 card from with a grade greater than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and discard the rest. So yet another thing that could help with either Abomination of Impending Karma or Alchemagic, so very useful. So very order card heavy, obviously, because it is a Zorga deck. And then for the triggers, I don't have triggers that fit the vibe of the deck, so we're just going to be running 2 vanilla draws, and then we're going to be running 2 Frenzied Heiress, 3 copies of Valen, which is the vanilla front trigger for Stoicheia in terms of like Sylvan Horned. Then we're going to be running 4 vanilla crit Jackalopes, 4 vanilla crit Zlatarog, and we're going to be running Bless Favor for the over trigger. Over triggers are a preference. You can choose whichever one you want. I'm just choosing Bless Favor because it is the nation over trigger, and also its effect is actually like really overpowered. I think it's even better than Elder Breath. Draw a card, choose one of your units, and it gains a critical until the end of turn. All your front row gets 10,000 power, and if your damage zone has more cards than your opponent's, and then heal a damage trigger. So it's pretty much a draw trigger, a front trigger, and a heal trigger, like all at once, and a critical trigger. Anyways, so that is the deck profile for Zorga Nadir. Definitely a fun one if you're wanting to build this deck. This deck that I have put in this video is actually a pretty cheap one. So if you're wanting to build a kind of budget-friendly Zorga Nadir, I would do so. Really the only like super expensive cards in here are Zorga Nadir and Roaming Prison Dragon, and Shadow Cloak as well. Shadow Cloak is about $5 a copy, and same with Roaming Prison Dragon and Zorga Nadir. Anyways, so sorry that it takes me so long to get videos out. I do apologize for that. I tried to build decks before I do videos on them, just because I want them to be complete. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys next time.